Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. This is Miss Noelle, and Miss Kristin was just waving over there.
Hey.
Um, for those of you who have never tuned in before, today we're going to be discussing our latest book read as part of our Page Turner's Tween Book Club, and that is a book club for grades 4 through 6. So this past month, we discussed R.J. Palacio's Whitebird, and I don't know how many of you have read R.J. Palacio before. I've never done so, but Miss Kristin has, so she could tell us a little bit more about that. But as far as I understand, this is R.J. Palacio's first graphic novel. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Cool. So as I was reading, I kind of got a sense that this book was picking up from where Wonder departed from. So I never read Wonder before or anything like that, but this Whitebird as a graphic novel, I think, is fantastic. And that it definitely tells the story in a more meaningful way as a graphic novel than I think it would have if it was written just like Wonder was.
I agree.
Do you think so? Yeah. So do you want to tell us, our audience that is, because we both know, what this book is about?
So this is about Julian's grandmother. So Julian, who is known to be the bully in Wonder. And then the author wrote, I want to say it's called Augie and Me, the second.
Yes,
Okay, she doesn't really count it as a sequel, but it's more information about Julian and Summer and another character. I can't think either. It's been quite a few years since I've read these books. But Julian is known to be the bully in Wonder. And he has to do a book report or a report of some kind. So he contacts his grandmother, who is in Paris. And he said, I want to know your story. I want to know what it was like when you were a child growing up, through the Holocaust. So it was the age of when she was like 12 to 15 that she went through the Holocaust. So it's all her story. It's a story about kindness, forgiveness. There's so many themes, like just risking your life for other people. It's an amazing, amazing book.
I agree, because I should add, if there's any adults who are listening, Miss Kristin and I had, as we were going through the book prior to this discussion, like some pretty heavy conversations surrounding Whitebird. So I definitely want to recommend this really to any age group. I've said before, just because it's marked children's lit doesn't mean that it's of any, it's for any age. I really believe that. But I had no problems with it not having read Wonder or anything like that before. In fact, I think it kind of gave me like a little bit of a different perspective as well, just because I didn't know the character of Julian diving right into this book.
Mm-hmm.
But some stuff that struck me, like we were talking about this before, but so the book is about like the Holocaust and everything, which is a terrible, terrible event in our history, and like how all of it came about. I think they said sort of near the end of the book, so this is not a spoiler, but how everything came about because there were so many people who turned their back on what was happening. Just like little tiny things like that started happening in Europe, where Jews weren't allowed to go in certain places and stuff like that. So earlier on in the book, the main character of Sarah starts to kind of see a lot of that in school, and just the way maybe her classmates were singled out for being different, and then later herself. And I don't think, like, as I was reading, that she really realized like what it means to stand up for other people and how important that can be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was just something I really took away from it. But overall, I just want to say that even though this book was a work of fiction, what I found really interesting was the beginning, and how Julian went to go talk to his grandmother, like you were kind of saying before, and the importance of talking to our even like for ourselves, like our older relatives, our even our parents, and just asking them about their life, because you might know them just as, you know, grandma and grandpa, but they were kids once too, and things were a lot the same and they were a lot different. And I think it's kind of interesting to hear, you know, other people's stories. And I think we talked about this before, but you wouldn't know the character of Julian for being such a bully had the kind of family history that he had in this story. So that's all I have to say about that. But we know that in the past, like just, you know, being here at the library, that a lot of Pittston area teachers have covered the diary of Anne Frank and different Holocaust stories in that. So we obviously definitely think that it is a really important topic to talk about and continue talking about, even though it's difficult. So you had some book recommendations too, because we want you to check out Whitebird, but please, like, if you're interested in this topic, we want you to keep reading.
Yes. Number of the Stars is one of my favorite books. It's been a long time since I read this. It was originally published in 1989. And so I think I read it when I was like 11. I don't know, remember. My grandmother gave it to me. So I am one of the reasons that we have not weeded this book. I will not give up this book.
Because we can. We all have our favorites.
Exactly. So it's about a little girl and a friend of hers who is Jewish, and she doesn't understand what's going on during the Holocaust and how she has to help and how everything has to be so secretive. So it's a very interesting story. And then Miss Noelle had mentioned the Diary of Anne Frank. That's considered like a YA book, but we do have a beginning reader, Anne Frank's Chestnut Tree, so a little bit of information about her. This is about a third grade reading level. We have a bunch of books, and like I mentioned to Miss Noelle before, I know more about World War II now as an adult with reading. I love historical fiction. That's my favorite genre. But now more as an adult than I ever did in high school.
I think that's really great though, because
Mm-hmm.
it's showing that, you know, we're always learning and we're always you know, wanting to you know, expand our horizons a little bit. And I have some books too. So we know that a lot of you, when you get really interested in a topic, you forget about our nonfiction sections in our children's section and in our teens. So these two here are graphic novels. This one is called, I don't know if you can see, A Bag of Marbles. It's kind of a little bit similar to Whitebird in the sense that the main characters here realize that France is not safe and they have to get out and find some safety. And this other one, Hidden, kind of like a similar thing, like just what happened. Because I think just a general theme in Whitebird that we all kind of see in a lot of these books is just the sense of panic and separation that happened to these people, and just how awful it was, because I don't think any of us could really imagine being separated from our families and never possibly seeing them ever again, and just, you know, the weight of all that. So these books kind of touch on that. And then we also have another book here called, and we do have a few more, but we can't go into the whole library, okay? This one's called Beyond Courage, and this is the untold story of the Jewish resistance during the Holocaust. So a lot about the people who wanted to stand up and to help other people and you know, take back the country, pretty much.
And yes,
So
would have been, I mean, it was a horrific event. I think it was over 6 million Jewish people were killed through the Holocaust. But it would have been so much worse if it wasn't for the people that helped. And that's,
right.
you know, that's part of, you know, what Whitebird is about too, is like Sarah had to go into hiding and she had to completely trust a different family that she didn't even know, you know, to keep her safe and to keep her alive. And it's amazing.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about, and we don't want to like keep everyone here too long because we'll go into an entire lecture series.
Right?
But yeah, definitely check out Whitebird, and we have another book coming up for the next session, right?
Yes, we do. Where did I put that? It is called Stargazing. Oh, give me a second. I know where I put it. Right here. I had it in my book to go home already. This is called
So excited.
Stargazing by Jen Wang. So it is another juvie graphic novel. And I'll just read the back real quick. It says, Moon is everything Kristin isn't. She's confident, impulsive, artistic, and though they both live in the same Chinese American community, Moon is somehow unlike anyone Kristin has ever known. When Moon's family moves in next door to Kristin's, Moon goes from unlikely friend to best friend. Moon even tells Kristin her deepest secret, that she sometimes has visions of celestial beings who speak to her from the stars, who reassure her that Earth isn't where she really belongs. But then catastrophe strikes. After relying on Moon for everything she can, Kristin find it in herself to be the friend Moon needs? So this one sounds a little different, but fun. I think it'll be a good one. So we
Yeah, I'm
will have copies
excited.
of this, if you want to borrow, if anybody wants to call in and borrow this one.
Yep, and Whitebird will still be available as well to place on hold if anybody's interested in that. We do, again, encourage you to check them out and check out more graphic novels because they're quick reads and I think they have a lot of
Fun
depth
reads.
and
Mm-hmm.
they're fun too. Yeah. So
All right.
until next time, we'll see y'all soon, guys.
Thanks. Bye-bye.